Once upon a time, Griffpatch, feeling so clever, began to code the most epic Scratch project ever. It began with a cat and a variable for health. But should it be for all sprites or only for itself? Well, he wasn't quite sure, so he just let it be, and continued on blindly, saying, "I guess we'll just see." Then, when green flag clicked, still unaware of his bloop, he set health to 5 and then when green flag clicked, still unaware of his bloop, he set health to 5 and then straight into a forever loop. But just to be sure, he muttered, "A say block won't lag," and he dropped in a health block and smashed that green flag. 5, he declared. Such muscle, such brawn. But he did not dally, no, he had to scratch on. And so, with much health, Scratchy was ready to fight. With a nimble right-click, Griff duplicated that sprite. And it looked to be working. Double avatars of Scratch, reporting 5 health apiece. A genuine perfect match. Now it's time to mix it up, Griffpatch declared, and then boosted one cat's health from 5 up to 10. And that's when it happened. On clicking the green flag, it became pretty obvious he'd just hit a big snag. For although each cat's health was there to plainly see, they both still reporting the very same exact HP. But how is this possible? Each sprite's health was individually set to a completely different value when green flag clicked, and yet... "Oh man, this is bad," he disliked code rewrites. "I bet this was all because I opted for all sprites." And yes, this is indeed the case. When a variable is created for all the sprites across the entire project will see the same value, and no matter which one changed it, they all see that change. And there lies the problem. Even though both sprites update the health variable in this project, only the last value set is seen by both the sprites. Watch this. It's a bit wacky, but if I drag the left cat and then run the project, now both cats report a health of 10. See? No, we are not going mad. It's just that dragging a sprite on the stage brings it to the front layer, and the order our scripts run in are defined by their order. So whichever sprite is at the back is the last one to set the health variable. And thus, that is the value that wins out. No wonder some scratchers can get confused, right? So, an interesting aside. How can we tell if a variable in our project is for all sprites, or was it set for this sprite only? Well, there's a few ways, but if you simply click the checkbox next to a variable to make it visible on the stage, then take a look at the name of the health variable. It just says health. Right away, we can tell this is for all sprites, because it does not have a sprite's name prepended to the front. Look again, if I create a test variable for this sprite only, then you'll see that this one does begin with the name of the sprite's name prepended to the front. Look again, if I create a test variable for this sprite only, then you'll see that this one does begin with the name of the sprite1. So there you go. We can confirm that the reason our healths are not working is because of this mistake. And it's a very common bug when you are starting out in Scratch or following tutorials. So the question is, how do we fix it? Well, there is no direct way of changing a variable that's already been created, so that makes it tricky. I guess we might consider just deleting the variable ready to make a new one. Delete. Ah, where did my script go? So yeah, careful deleting your variables, because Scratch is not very forgiving, deleting any blocks that make use of the removed variable within this sprite. Interestingly though, if we click into sprite 2, you'll see that the scripts referencing health are not deleted from here, which is actually quite interesting since this was the same variable, but well, there we go. So back in sprite 1, let's rewind time and try doing things a little differently. Since deleting a variable from a sprite that uses that variable is dangerous, how about we delete it from somewhere else that doesn't use it, like the stage? Well, let's find out what happens. delete. So, what did this do back in Sprite 1 and 2? Oh look, the health variable is back. Oh man, it's been recreated still for all sprites. We are right back where we started. Bother. What we learned though is that Scratch is quite happy to recreate missing variables if it doesn't find them. That does make me curious though. What does Scratch do if it cannot recreate the variable? If we could stop it in some way? One rule of Scratch is that you cannot create a second variable with the same name as an existing variable on the same sprite. Well, this means that if you have a variable for this sprite only, and then try to create a for all sprites variable anywhere else in your project with the same name, then Scratch also stops you. Well then, how about we create a new dummy sprite, and once again delete that global health variable. Delete. Now, before Scratch automatically recreates it as before, we make a new variable and name it health, marking it for this sprite only. Oh wow, will Scratch even allow this? You bet it will. So what does this mean for the other sprites that try to use the health variable? Clicking into sprite 1. Okay, so the health variable has been recreated as before. Check the visibility box. And yes, look what has happened. Sprite 1 health. Scratch has, this time, been forced to recreate the variable for this sprite only. That's awesome! The proof is in the pudding, so smash that green flag. And oh yes, look at this. We have fixed our bug with a cunning quirk of Scratch. How cool is that? But
payment comes due.
Might there be consequences to bending Scratch to our will in this manner? Come on, seriously, what could go wrong? Oh no! Wait! What? Well, you did ask. A consequence of this variable fix is that Scratch somehow messes up the variable reporters for this recreated variable. They all think they are the first sprite's reporter. It's not that the variable doesn't work, it really does, but the reporter will remain broken for all time. So, if you need the reporter, you'll either have to go make a new variable in each sprite and manually go through switching all references from the old variable to the new one, or you might have already done this, install the Scratch Add-ons browser extension. You can pick it up for free from any browser app store just googling Scratch Add-ons. This extension has a whole host of awesome and helpful extensions to make Scratch a happier place to be in, including a number of features made by yours truly. One of said features is the swap variable feature. All we need to do then is begin by renaming the for all sprites health variable as old. Then is begin by features is naming the for all sprites feature. All we need to do then is begin by renaming swap variable feature. All we need to do then is begin by renaming the for all sprites health variable as old health. Now we can easily identify the bad variable we are trying to fix. So now we create the health variable again, this time doing it right, for this sprite only. Cool. And here comes the Scratch Add-ons magic. Right-click on the old health variable and choose the new option, Swap Variables in Sprite. And we are prompted in an admittedly mildly ugly input box to enter the name of the variable to swap old health with. We enter health, our new variable's name. And pow! All our old healths have been replaced with our new health variable. And they are showing up on the stage as Sprite 1 health, so that's just great. And we go into Sprite 2, and we do the same again. Make a new variable health for this sprite only, right-click the old health variable name, and swap it for health. Pow! That's really enjoyable. And behold, our stage has 2 health variable reporters now, so I can delete the old health variable that is no longer used anywhere else in our code, and we smash that green flag. Behold the